library.
Excuse me.
Miss Scarlett, in the library.
With what?
I don't follow.
With what?
With me.
No, with what? A pipe? A rope? A knife? If you're accusing me of murder, Professor, you should just do it. Be a man and say it.
I'm not,
Please, Professor. There's a dead body lying in the foyer, and you dragged me all the way up to this room. There's only one possible reason. You are going to accuse me of murdering that man. Well, you won't be the first. Mr. Green and Colonel Mustard have accused me so many times, they may as well put a bright red A on my chest for accused. A scarlet letter. I thought you were smarter than them.
I'm not in a place to accuse anyone. I don't know who murdered that man, and I want this solved as badly as you do. I'm just not skilled at solving mysteries. I'm only a professor. And the one thing professors are very skilled at is research. The answer always lies in the library. Voila!
That is brilliant. There are so many books here. One of them has to be about who murdered the man lying in the foyer.
If only it were that easy.
I'll look for a book on murder. Where's the M section?
M is for music.
You jest.
It's the Library of Congress's cataloguing system. It may seem strange, but we academics, we're quite used to it.
Then I'll try K, for killing.
K is law.
Wouldn't law be L?
No, because L is education.
And not E?
E is for history.
But that starts with a H.
H is for social sciences.
Which is not under S because...
S is for agriculture.
Of course, that makes sense. No wonder professors have to be so smart. So, what are we supposed to do?
When I'm doing research, before I decide what I need to learn, I like to reaffirm what I already know. So, with that being said, what do we already know about the victim?
He's dead.
Good start.
He was murdered.
Getting warmer.
He was murdered by... I don't know. That's all I've got.
That's all I have too, damn it.
We're never going to figure this out.
Wait. Let's see if we can narrow this down a little more. How was he killed?
Well, we know it wasn't with the rope because there were no rope marks.
And we know it wasn't the revolver because there were no bullet holes.
And we know it wasn't the candlestick because of the gaping knife wound in his back. With the knife!
With the knife! Excellent work!
I think I'm starting to get the hang of this detective thing.
I do too.
You know, when I was a child, I loved reading detective novels. As I got older, these stories just never seemed practical, so I moved on to other hobbies, like not reading. If only I could go back in time and tell my childhood self that one day you'll wind up in a mansion full of strangers with a dead body lying in the foyer, and you'll wish you'd learned a bit more from the boxcar children.
Scarlett, this is no time to reminisce. Let's keep pushing forward. We're so close. We've already got the how. Now to figure out the where and the who. Indeed.
I don't know if this is important, but...
Out with it! An idea is always better said.
I remember there were white marks on the victim's jacket.
White marks?
On his left arm. Powder marks. What could those be?
You think, he indulged in the king's habit?
No, I don't think so. Who does cocaine off their elbow? I have it! It's chalk.
Chalk?
From the billiard room, where he was stabbed. He must have fallen forward onto the pool table. That's how he got the chalk on his blazer.
It must be. He was murdered in the billiard room.
But wait. We were in the billiard room. There was no blood on the pool table or anywhere. Getting stabbed with a knife would cause a heck of a mess.
A valid observation.
Then the murderer must have cleaned it. But who? Which one of us would have had the skill to quickly clean a room and return it to pristine condition? Professor Plum, I know who the murderer is. The maid! It's Miss White! She killed him in the billiard room.
By George, I think you've got it.
I'm going to call it in.
911.
Hi. Yes, I'd like to report a murder.
For English, please press 1 or say English.
English.
Got it. If you're the one being murdered, please dial 1. Otherwise, say someone else.
Someone else.
Great. If you're calling out a past murder, please dial 2. Otherwise, say new murder.
You murder.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. If you're calling out a past murder, please dial 2. Otherwise, say new murder.
You murder.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
You murder.
I'm sorry.
Representative.
I will connect you with the next available representative. Please stay on the line.
Yes, justice will have to wait.
Miss Scarlet, I dare say I am utterly blown away by your sleuthing abilities. Forgive me if I'm being a bit forward, but after you report the maid and we get out of this death mansion, would you like to join me in the world of academia? It's a cutthroat world, publish or perish, but with your tenacity, I think you can turn that scarlet A into an A for adjunct professor. If you could learn this much about detective work from silly detective fiction, imagine how far you can go when you read real books from a real academic library.
Excuse me. What did you say?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to myself. I just go into professor mode where I talk and talk and talk.
You mentioned that I learned from detective novels.
Yes, sounds like something I could have said.
Oh my goodness! Everything is so clear now! I know who killed that man lying in the foyer.
We've already established it was Miss White.
No! It was you. Professor Blum, here, in the library!
Okay, I definitely didn't say that.
You didn't need to. Everything I know about sleuthing I learned from detective novels. You brought me to this room. And the first thing they teach you in these books is that the murderer always returns to the scene of the crime.
The scene of the crime is the billiard room. Remember the chalk on the elbow? The way you tune yourself out when you speak? You're going to be a fantastic professor.
A pool table isn't the only place one can expect to find chalk. What about the pocket of an old-school professor? Next time, maybe you'll remember to change out of your work clothes before murdering someone.
So what if I carry a piece of chalk with me? It's so much easier explaining my theorems to stupid people if I can write it out. It doesn't mean I stabbed that man lying in the foyer. This is uncalled for. How would I have stabbed him? Look around. There's no blood. If I murdered our man in the library, where's the blood?
In the non-fiction section, deep in the stacks. You know that a non-academic would never ever search for anything in the non-fiction section. Admit it. You murdered him.
Like you. This is all very cute, Miss Scarlet. Yes, I'm here, and yes, we are physically in the library. But it's as far as it goes. If I did commit this atrocity, as you insist, where's the knife? Where is it? How could I stab him without a knife? I've been told my wit is sharp, but it's not that sharp. Exactly. I guess I was wrong about you. You aren't cut out to be an adjunct professor. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to the billiard room to accuse the maid of murder. I hate to blame it on the help, but them's the breaks.
I have it. When we got here, one of the first things you told me is that the answer always lies in the library.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, the victim was an academic. It's why he catalogued his shelves in that weird, nonsensical system. And an academic would never just hide something haphazardly. You murdered him with a knife, and then you filed it. Where's the S section?
S for stabby stab stab.
For agriculture. If one wanted to find a book about knives, he could look anywhere in military science or technology or even history. Et tu, Brute? Do you know what? You know that, of course. You wouldn't put it somewhere obvious because then it could be found. And the worst thing would be if the knife were found, right? Wrong. You are an academic. And the worst thing that can happen to an academic is not receiving credit. That brings us to the agriculture section and a little book on Prunus domestica, or as a dummy like me would call it, the plum. Voila.
Bravo! Bravo! I must say, I'm truly impressed. You figured it out. In the world of academia, it's publish or perish. And that, sorry chap, didn't publish. Too bad no one will believe you. It's my word versus yours. And I have lots of words. I've written books, many books. You've barely coloured books. Boxcar children. I'm an esteemed professor with tenure. And you are a gold-digging little hussy, just 5 years worth of aging away from being completely irrelevant and undesirable. It's unfortunate, really. We don't get to pick the hands we are dealt. So, what are you going to do? Waste your time and accuse me? You'll be shouting to the wind. Or you can be smart. Keep your little theory to yourself and accept my offer. Being an adjunct professor isn't that awful. You may make tenure, eventually. So, what's it going to be, Scarlett?
Hello, this is Jeremy. Thank you for your patience. Can you provide some details about the murder you're reporting?
Yes. It was Professor Plum in the library with a knife.